Hello and welcome to another video by Day Night Gaming. In this video I'm going to be showcasing the Paladin rotation for Final Fantasy XIV patch 5.3 in the Endwalkers Expansion. Now I'm going to be splitting the rotation up into multiple phases in order to make it more easily digestible. Now we're going to start off with the opener, and once that's done and the monster is aggroed or pulled, we will not be returning to the opener, and we're going to then go into the burst phase. After the burst phase is going to be the cooldown phase, and then if needed, we're going to go into the filler phase. And after that, we're going to start right back over at the burst phase. And it's going to repeat in that cycle. Burst phase, cooldown, filler, burst phase, cooldown, filler. So this part is very simple. There are two different openers depending on if you're just in a random dungeon and you don't have a wait time, or if you're actually in a raid setting where you do have the opportunity to have a wait time. So if you're just pulling in a dungeon wall to wall, you can start off with a shield lob and then just dash in with intervene immediately, and then after that you can go into your burst phase. But if you're in a raid setting and you do have a wait timer, then in between 3 and 2 seconds you're going to cast Holy Spirit. After it finishes casting, you're going to immediately intervene to the boss. Alright, so we're going to be looking at the burst phase now, and it's going to start off with Fast Blade into Riot Blade. You can then clip in a strength potion if you want, but that is optional. After that, you want to definitely clip in Fight or Flight, very important, and then Royal Authority. Then you're going to clip in Circle of Scorn into Goring Blade. Then you're going to clip in Requiescat into Confiteor. Then you're going to clip in Expansion. And then after that, you're going to press Confiteor again, but it's actually going to be Blade of Faith. Then you're going to clip in Intervene. Then a third time, you're going to click Confiteor, but it's going to become Blade of Truth instead. And if you have a second Intervene, you can clip it in now. Then you're going to use Confiteor the fourth time, and that's actually going to be Blade of Valor. Now that you've used all 4 Requiescat charges, you're then going to use your Holy Spirit that you've been holding on to. Then you're going to do 3 atonements in a row. After that, the burst phase is done and you're going to immediately go into the cooldown phase. But it is important to note that you don't actually have to use your intervenes, and if you want to instead save them for mobility, that's totally fine. So after the burst phase, we're going to go into the cooldown phase, which is going to be Fast Blade into Riot Blade into Royal Authority. Then we're going to clip in Circle of Scorn. Then we're going to use Holy Spirit. Then we're going to do Atonement. Then we're going to clip in an Expansion. Then we're going to do 2 more Atonements. After this cooldown phase, we're then going to head into the filler phase, if applicable. After the cooldown phase, if you've had uninterrupted uptime on your combo, you can then move into the filler phase, which will be Fast Blade into Riot Blade into Royal Authority into Holy Spirit, and then only 1 atonement. Now, if you have skill speed that drops your global cooldown to under 2.5 seconds, then the rotation kind of gets a little clunky. So you're gonna have to add another atonement. But if due to having to dodge mechanics, or the boss phases out or disjoints, and you find that your fight or flight buff has a cooldown remaining of only 5 seconds or less, then you want to skip this filler phase and then go straight into your burst phase. And that's why we call this a filler phase. So this phase can be completely dropped if your fight or flight has 5 or less seconds left on the cooldown timer. So lastly, it's also important to note that normally we would use 3 atonements after Royal Authority, but because we're just using this to fill in the small time period as a gap, we're only going to be using 1 or 2 atonements depending on your skill speed stat. And the remaining atonements we're just going to forget about. We're just going to throw them away and not use them. And then after this filler phase, we're going to go right back into the burst phase. So remember, it's going to be burst phase, cooldown into filler, and then right back into burst phase. Thank you. Hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, consider hitting that thumbs up, smashing that subscribe, and ringing that bell to stay updated with future videos that I might be posting. Also, if you want to see me live, please check out my stream at twitch.tv/DNGDangerous. Come hop in there and join the chat. I would love to hear from you. I stream quite often there, so come hang out. And if you are interested in supporting the channel even more, I do have a merch website at streamlabs.com/DNGDangerous/merch. And until next time, take care. Goodbye.